Despite being posted from Snoop's verified Instagram account, a legal representative asserts to Deadline that neither the hip-hop artist or anyone from his team wrote the comment. It is a fake set a rep for Snoop. Renegade Online. This started with a story earlier in the week where was it the Jimmy Fallon show or it was a podcast that he said this on, right?
It was a podcast. I don't remember exactly which podcast it was. It wasn't one that I had remembered that I was familiar with. But I will say one of the most fascinating twists and turns of this is that the Breakfast Club, which is a big-time podcast, especially with the urban listeners, came out full-throated support of him. That's when it got really interesting, when it was like, okay, we got Disney Pixar lady out here who lost 70 jobs. She's out here attacking him, and the Breakfast Club comes to his defense.
Yeah. And I mean, this was, and there's part of this is, well, let's just go through the story. This is on TPP. Snoop Dogg caves to cancel culture, but there was an interesting tidbit that Deadline scooped up. I'm going to get to that in a minute for what it's worth. For a brief moment, Snoop Dogg was the unlikely voice of dissent in Hollywood. His blunt reaction to Disney Pixar's Lightyear, where he admitted being caught off guard by the two moms subplot while watching with his grandson, went viral and resonated with countless families who felt the same way. But after days of media outrage, celebrity condemnations, political pressure, and a network of panic, the rapper has now walked it back. The original comment started with a simple, unfiltered bit when he took his grandson to see Lightyear, was watching it with his grandson, and asked him how two women could have a baby with one another. The rapper found himself at a loss for words. Now think back. Let's set this back up, especially for the new folks in the audience. This was 2022. This was just a couple of months after the internal sabotage of Chapek was getting into full swing, and the whole Florida House Bill 1557 that was referred to colloquially by the left-wing media as the Don't Say Gay bill. Remember, at first, Bob Chapek did not want to be involved in it. Then articles started coming out. Remember one of the famous articles in Variety magazine that we covered extensively here in 2022? All that stuff that went down. The Variety article that came out with members of Pixar, staff at Pixar, that were livid that Bob Chapek and Kareem Daniel, who were in charge of Disney and Disney film distribution respectively at the time, had forced Pixar to remove the gay stuff from Lightyear that they'd had in there, the lesbian stuff. I said, no, it's a movie for families and kids. We don't need to put that stuff in there. Pixar was pissed, and they went to Variety screaming about it with all their little purple hairspray and everything else, right? Their nose rings, and God knows what else. Probably threw a few green dildos on a WNBA court. Who knows? But yeah, they were mad. So in the midst of all this, and the fact that they sabotaged and put a political gun to the head of Bob Chapek and all this other stuff, who eventually caved to this inside Disney pressure, including from the board, from what we later learned, they put the gay stuff back in. Lightyear released, because at this point, everybody knew about it. Now, the story had gone out. Everybody knew that Lightyear had the gay stuff in it. That's what Pixar was trying to do. And the movie absolutely tanked. It tanked at the box office. And I want to remind folks that other movies were coming out within a year of this that were doing markedly better. And we're talking kids' movies. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish smoked this thing. And that was out available on PVOD and streaming 17 days after it hit the theater. Did almost $500 million. Lightyear was connected to Toy Story, the most popular thing that Pixar ever did. They couldn't get anybody to show up for it. So Snoop Dogg is watching this thing apparently for the first time with his grandson, and they get to the part with the gay stuff in it. And his grandson, a normal, curious kid, a normal child's reaction is, well, Grandpa, how did two girls have a baby?
Right, which is where this goes farther than just having lesbians.
Right, exactly. It's like, they don't. So Snoop's reaction was, I didn't come for this shit. Snoop said, this is during the podcast. I just came to watch the goddamn movie, right? This is Snoop talk. Snoop explained that the scene, quote, threw him for a loop and left him, quote, scared to go to the movies now because he wasn't prepared to answer his grandson's questions regarding the content that studios like Disney now include. It was a raw, relatable take that echoed what many parents have privately felt about Disney's recent push to inject culture war messaging into children's stories. But honesty doesn't last long in Hollywood. Now, to that end, what I also want to bring up that I find interesting, the Walt Disney Company apparently in the last year or two has agreed with Snoop. Have they not? The Walt Disney Company went
tacitly
in,
for sure.
And exactly. And Inside Out 2 was allegedly rife with LGBTQ, trans, I think, in particular stuff. They took it out before the movie released. There was going to be a transgender episode of a children's television show for Disney Plus involved a Little League baseball team. Don't remember the name of the show. Don't care. Nobody watched it.
Replaced it. Put a little Christian girl in it.
Yep. They had a trans episode in there. That was removed. So Snoop is right on the money. Parents have rejected this. Snoop Dogg represents the average American dad and grandpa in this country in this regard, right? He definitely represents the average parent and grandparent. Oh, man, I thought I was sitting down watching a Disney movie with my 7-year-old, 8-year-old, whatever. What the hell is this?
I love the idea. I can just see Snoop in the theater, holding 2 fingers out on both hands and trying to figure out, okay, grandson.
No, I don't think it was in the theater. Was it in the theater or was this at home? Like they just watched it?
I think it's in the theater. Well, you never know. But I love the idea of Snoop being like, you know what, grandson? Papa Snoop doesn't know how 2 women make a baby. Now that I've seen a lot of stuff in my life. I don't know the answer to that.
The fallout to this is as you would expect from the weirdos, right? Celebrities like T.S. Madison, I don't even know who the hell that is, branded Snoop, quote, part of the problem on TMZ Live in Australia. I'm sorry. Sit down, Australia.
Women have been reproducing with each other for decades in Australia, Valiant. You clearly have not been paying attention. They get out on the beach and they have an Aussie scissor event every single night.
Politicians in Australia called him a, quote, slur merchant. What slur did he use in this case?
He quoted a biology book.
I guess. Demanded he be pulled from the AFL Grand Final halftime show. Don't even know what that is. Meanwhile, NBC executives reported, and this is where the pressure really came from, because he's one of the judges on The View, which is a big show for NBC.
Crisis talks for saying, I don't know how 2 women can make a baby, actually.
Yeah. There were reportedly crisis talks about whether Snoop should remain a coach on The Voice. All of this because he was taken aback by the gay stuff that Disney stuck into a kid's show, a kid's movie. A man who is representing the thoughts and feelings, I promise you, of the overwhelming majority of American parents and grandparents. And again, we know this because Disney has gone back and removed we saw what happened to the box office. We've seen what's happened to every property that Disney has put out with LGBTQ crap shoved in it. All the trans grooming and the queer grooming that they're aiming at children has not gone well with American audiences. It's not gone well with global audiences either. And Disney has pulled back. Pete Docter trying to rescue Inside Out 2. Disney trying to pull trans episodes out of cartoons for Disney Plus, like we said. All this. Disney is right there admitting this did not work. Okay.
I want Snoop I want him to capitalize on this. I don't want him to bend the knee. I don't want him to back down. This week, Snoop, I need you to come out and say, Papa Snoop also doesn't know how men can breastfeed. Let's just do it. Let's just do it, Snoop. Really send them into a tizzy. Shake up that hornet's nest.
Right. So you gotta wonder, okay, how much money is Snoop being paid to be a judge on The Voice? He probably brings a lot of audience with him. I mean, look, the reason they put judges on this show, celebrity judges like him, to bring the audience in, right? So, I mean, what if he's getting what if he's getting 5-10 million a year from this? I don't know. I don't know what they pay the judges on the show. It's a pretty popular show. Snoop's retreat. So, look at this, and we can go over to the story here that was a companion piece, considering pulling him from The Voice, all this campaign, Snoop Dogg, Disney clash that sparked it all, crisis talks at NBC. I mean, this is, they didn't want to be dragged. Why drag into this? Honestly, what did he say that was so bad? Okay. And all the political pressure and all this kind of stuff. So what we wound up getting a couple of days later, allegedly, and I say allegedly because there was something that popped out earlier that now has me wondering.
You think Snoop's this is a fake Snoop?
No,
you think
I don't think.
Okay.
No. Hang on. Facing mounting pressure, Snoop backtracked. In a social media comment on Hollywood Unlocked, he softened his tone. T.S. Madison gives her thoughts on Snoop Dogg, which I guess is this person on TMZ. I don't know who the hell this is.
I don't know who she is.
Revealing his experience while going to see Lightyear. Then there is a post from what was claimed is that, yes, it's the official Snoop Dogg Instagram account. It says, I was just caught off guard and had no answer for my grandsons. All my gay friends know what's up. They've been calling me with love. My bad for not knowing the answers for a 6-year-old. Teach me how to learn. I'm not perfect. So this is what's created all this, they said, okay, Snoop backed up, did this. All right. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to go over here to this. Snoop Dogg's legal representatives say the apology for Lightyear LGBTQ comments is, quote, a fake.
Huh.
So this was published yesterday afternoon, and this was updated with comment from Snoop's legal team. And they go through the story here. Following backlash to his comment about Lightyear's LGBTQ representation, including a response from one of the movie's writers, Snoop Dogg's team is denying that they posted an apology on his behalf.
I'm going to love if it was the grandkid. If the grandkid was like hacked into Papa Snoop's account, that's going to really add to it. Let's go. What do they say?
I mean, I was caught off guard. I had no answer for my grandsons. They go through the tweet. Teach me how to learn. Despite being posted from Snoop's verified Instagram account, a legal representative asserts to Deadline that neither the hip hop artist or anyone from his team wrote the comment. It is a fake, said a rep for Snoop.
I blame this on Mexican Iron Man. I don't know how he did it, but
I mean, again, I don't, they didn't name the rep. It could have been his best friend. It could be one. Yeah, it could be actually an attorney. I have no idea. This is what Deadline went with. Somebody reached out to them, to Deadline, and they put it in here. So I'm assuming Deadline isn't just rolling with some rando that called them up, that they verified who this individual was, claiming that comment, though they're not denying that it's his official Instagram account. They're saying Snoop didn't write it. And nobody from his legal team did either.
That's a heck of an autocorrect.
I mean, now, look, here's the thing. It's more surprising to me, even in this day and age, that Snoop would walk this back, because it's just unlike him. But everybody can be made to bend the knee and cave. I'm not saying that this is true. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just saying, here you go, kids. Be your own judge. This is what Deadline has reported. Now, part of the funny thing that came out of this, and the other part of the story, I guess I should have done this first, but to go over here real quick. Yeah, this is kind of what kicked it, right? The writer for this, which is she looks exactly like you would expect.
Yep. Looks like right? If Steven Tyler was a grandma. By the way, she is a lady who cost 70 people their jobs, and she feels no remorse for it.
That's right. And then they try to dial this back. It's like, it really wasn't my movie at the end. I was part of it, but by the time they finished with it, it was a different movie, right? We're going to do the Kevin Feige thing here. So some of the comments, though, and again, I look at this and I go, I don't think that any of this outrage, quote unquote outrage, from the liberal white women out there, okay, I don't think any of that bothered Snoop one freaking bit. What I do think, if anything, had an effect on it is the executive producers at NBC calling him up and saying, we don't care if you think it's a problem. We think it's a problem. You're just not going to be on the show anymore. I don't know. I don't know what's in his contract. I don't know how it works these days. Again, it's not like Snoop came out and called them figs on a post or on the podcast and used all type of like bad language and slurs and all this kind of stuff. He just said,
I didn't know what to say.
I didn't know what to say, man. I was like, shit, I just wanted to go see a movie. I didn't think I was going to have to be explaining gay stuff to my grandson. What's so bad about that? Honestly. And this is the problem these days. This is why there's so many school teachers in America that look like this. They're all on libs of TikTok, and they're teaching your kids. And remember, they think it's perfectly normal. Your children are their children, right? And they are going to expose your children to whatever the hell they want to expose them to. Disney had the same attitude for quite some time, and they still do by and large, because they have people at Disney that look and act like this working there all over the freaking place. I was just trying to put queerness in everything I could. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Lightyear writer responds to Snoop Dogg's criticism of the film's LGBTQ plus representation. He sucks, she said. Oh, that's nice. Remember, Disney's executives, namely Bob Chapek, also reacted to the LGBTQ stuff in Pixar before it came out and forced them to remove it before they put it back in because of the outward backlash. This isn't 2022. That's not going to fly anymore. It's just not. A Lightyear writer is defending her work to infinity and beyond in the wake of Snoop Dogg's criticism of the film. Lauren Gunderson, who received an additional screenplay material credit on the 22 film, reflected on her decision to include a lesbian couple in the sci-fi movie in a series of posts on Threads on Wednesday. So again, she's taking responsibility for, well, this movie changed so much by the time it came out from what I originally intended, but I'm taking credit. I did the gay stuff.
And it's not just that they're lesbians. It's they made a baby. How did they make a baby? And the 6-year-olds in the audience have the same questions.
Right. It's a normal question. Like, well, how did that happen? You're sitting there and you're Snoop, and it's like, I get it. He feels like all the rest of us felt like.
Well, when a gay stork and another gay stork fly into each other in the air, son.
Yeah. The writer also said she was bummed out to hear Snoop's opinion in a separate post. Snoop was great during the Olympics, she wrote. Hopefully he joins the side of love. I don't know what that means. Representatives for Snoop did not immediately respond to Entertainment Weekly's request for comment. The Drop It Like It's Hot rapper previously expressed that he was scared to go to the movies after his grandson pressed him with questions about Lightyear's lesbian couple. Oh, shit, I didn't come for this shit. I just came to watch a goddamn movie, Snoop said during a recent interview with It's Giving podcast. That's what it was. These are kids. Why do we have to show that at this age? Again, it's a perfectly reasonable reaction. It is the normal reaction to this. I'm sorry, dare I say, it is the correct reaction to this. They're going to ask questions, and I don't have the answer. And again, a fair response. Because what is the answer? How did two women have a baby? I don't have the answer to that. There is no answer to that. Following the musicians, especially to a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, let me tell you about artificial insemination and sperm donation.
And it's not, look, Valiant, they even made the kid in the picture down below, they even made the kid be evenly, like, he's perfectly black in the middle of their, of the skin color and everything. Like, they went to that extreme so that kids would ask the question, how can this be? And then the parents are like, well, you know, you could talk about artificial insemination, but it looks like their two eggs got together somehow. I don't have an answer for this. It's a magical scissoring experience.
It's so bad. Following the musician's viral criticism, Gunderson explained her creative decision to have Alicia Hawthorne, voiced by Uzo Aduba, the best friend of Chris Evans' titular space ranger, Buzz Lightyear, marry a woman, Kiko, and raise a child together during a key Lightyear montage, which also featured the couple sharing a kiss that was cut out of the film before being reinstated due to backlash. Again, backlash from whom? This was the typical Disney mistake we covered so much 3 years ago. The backlash was from a community that didn't go support this movie and wasn't going to anyway. They didn't get backlash from American parents with children. They should have listened to what they had done in the beginning and told the people at Pixar to sit down and shut the F up and do their jobs, which wasn't this. But they didn't. That was one of the critiques that we had for Bob Chapek.
Well, if he had come out strongly like that, he'd still be there. But he was weak, and they prey on any weakness that you show.
Here we go. Gunderson wrote, I created the Lightyear lesbians. In 2018, I was a writer at Pixar. Such a cool place. Grateful to work there, she said. I learned a ton from kind and impressive creatives as we wrote early versions of what became Lightyear. So again, remember this. So proving some other points here. This is 2018. And they're starting working on Lightyear, and immediately they're going down the gay road. Remember, John Lasseter had just been kicked out less than a year before this. John Lasseter's still there. This doesn't happen. Okay? This the first thing they went to after Lasseter was gone was, let's get some gay stuff in here.
Well, we got the hugger out of here. Get the gay.
Right. As we wrote early versions of what became Lightyear, a key character needed a partner. And it was so natural. Now, this is where it gets really weird, okay? A key character needed a partner, and it was so natural to write she instead of he. I don't understand this, but as small as that detail is in the film, I knew the representational effect that it could have. Small line, big deal. I was elated that they kept it. I'm proud of it to infinity. Okay, so here we go. Once again, we get, I don't know if this woman's a lesbian or not, you know, the pink spray painted hair and the large black rimmed glasses. I mean, it definitely screams psycho liberal white bitch. Okay, I don't know about lesbian, but here's the thing: it winds up becoming. I'm not writing a movie for kids anymore. I'm now writing a movie to be representational to an adult LGBTQ community. This is a kids movie. This is a movie for children. Again, these people constantly forget their place and what they're doing and who they're here to entertain. So, she, just like Kathleen Kennedy with Ray, got to make the self-insert. We don't need no man no more. The force is female. It's the same kind of thing here. You get these pathetic, overgrown children, adult baby children, and everything has to be about them and satisfying their own political, social desires, and leveraging a multi-billion-dollar company to push the agendas in. And what's worse is the multi-billion-dollar company goes along with it. So it's cool.
It needs to be said again. This woman, because the movie flopped so hard, because of what she did. I mean, it's because of what she did that the movie flopped. We know that.
Yeah.
Because of what she did, 70 people lost their jobs at Pixar.
Yep.
70 people. It was directly, I mean, they came out in the trades and said it's because of Lightyear. This woman caused 70 families to lose the salaries, the careers, etc., to have to go somewhere else, maybe have to move. She's proud of it. She's proud of making 70 people lose their jobs so long as she gets to now be in the press talking about just what an amazing, she's so virtuous. She set forth a milestone that had never been. She broke the glass ceiling of gayness. 70 people lost their jobs.
Right. It just, she's not still at Pixar. It didn't matter to her. 70 people lost their jobs. Not to mention
the director, Angus McLean, the director got kicked out of Pixar.
Couple $100 million in losses for Disney shareholders.
No, it's all a worthwhile sacrifice on the altar of LGBTQIAZYX plus minus whatever.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.